Hi, today we're going to talk about finding the shape, the perimeter and area of irregular shapes. So if you can turn to the next clean page of your notebook, call it 7B.4, estimating area and perimeter, and write your objective. If you need to pause the video along the way, feel free to do so. So let's look at perimeter. Here's an irregular shape. You see it has a curved edge. We have some straight edges too. It can be very difficult to try to figure out, well, how far is it from here to here? Or how far is it from this to here? Because it's not a straight edge. Also, one thing about diagonal edges is they are not one unit. I'll show you what that looks like. If I were to draw a line from corner to corner on this grid, so similar to this, let's see what happens when I straighten that line out. You'll see it is not same distance as up and down. It is actually closer to 1.5 units. So that's the first part of our key that we want to write down. And say that if we go either straight up and down or straight across, that will count as 1 unit. However, when we go diagonally, that's actually going to estimate this. I shouldn't put an equals. I actually should put an estimate. That's kind of a squiggly line. That is about 1.5 or 1.5 units. So when we count these, we will count diagonals as 1.5 and straight across as 1. Next thing we want to do is pay attention to where the closest corner is. So let's start from here. If I go from here to here, that's going to be 1 unit. From here to here, 1 unit. And I literally write these in when I do these. From this corner to this corner is 1 unit. One more. And one more. And now we're starting to get to the part that's curved. For this part, look at the closest corner for each one. This would start here, but the closest corner is here. So when I redraw this, I'm going to put right here and count that as 1. Now the closest corner here is this. The closest corner here is up here. That's going to be a diagonal. That is going to be a 1.5. Closest corner here and closest corner here. Ooh, this one's pretty close, but I'm going to call it here. This is where you might be off a little bit because of estimating, but I'm going to count that as 1. Closest corner here. Again, I'm probably going to count that as 1. It's a little less than halfway. Closest corner here to here, I'm also going to count that as 1. Here to here, 1.5. Here to here, also 1. Then all of these diagonals will be 1.5. Two more 1.5s. Then you just add them up. I usually put my halves together to make wholes and make it a little bit easier. So 1.5 and 1.5 is 3. 1.5 is another 3, so I'm at 6. 1.5, 1.5, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and then 20.5. Since we're talking perimeters, it would be units. If this were centimeters, which it says it is, it would be centimeters for my units. 20.5 centimeters. Let's look at the next one. This time it gave it to us. So if it's from here to here, oh, sorry, this is actually related to, from here to here, it's like a corner. That would be 1.5. But from here to here, that's going to be closer to this corner, so 1. So drawing this in, that would be 1, 1, corner to corner, that would be 1.5. You can also write 1.5. It's usually kind of easier to write that way. Here to here, that will be another 1. Here to here is 1.5 or 1.5. Here to here is another 1. Another 1.5. One, 1.5. And lastly, 1. Now this is estimating. This is not exact. Those curves do not exactly equal 1.5. So it's just an estimate. 1.5 and 1.5 is 3. 1.5, 1.5 is 3. So I'm going to say my total of my 1.5 is 6. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So this would be 12. And we don't have units on here, so we'll just put a U for units. On the front side of your homework, you have a couple that you will be doing. So we do these first two together just to look at what it is like. Hopefully my pen will work. That might make it easier. We're going to start at this corner. I change my pen color so it's easier to see. From this corner to this corner is 1. This would go from this corner diagonally, 1.5 or 1.5. Again, I have another diagonal one, 1.5. Closest corner to closest corner, 1, 1.5, 1.5. And going across, 1, 1.5, 1.5, 1, 1.5. Oops. Right, it's way over there, but and last 1.5. Again, you can put together these 1.5s or 1.5 to make each of those 3. Help you with your counting. So we have 3, 6, 9, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 units. Now let's look at this one. People tend to forget one part of this one. Diagonal, 1.5. Another diagonal, 1.5. Now you do have one from here to here. Don't lose that one. That is 1. Diagonal again. My pen is not cooperating very well. 1.5. 1.5. 1.5. 1.5. I have another 1 right here. 1.5, and 1.5. So let's add them up. This would be 3, 6, 9, 12, 13, 14. 14 units. Next, we're going to look at estimating area. Area, as you remember, is the inside. When you have a full square like this, it's easy to see. That would be 1. If I filled in that square, it would be 1. This would also be 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. So you have lots of 1s, full squares that are colored in. But there are a number of them that are just part. So that's where we have to start using kind of a key. If you have a little bit of it, less than half, we're going to count that as 0. So ones where we don't have very much at all, we're just going to not count it at all. So if you have about a half, we're going to count it as half. And if you have more than half, we'll count that as 1. So this is 1/2. This is 1/2. Kind of hard to write it in there with my thick pen. This is also 1/2. 1/2. I'd normally be writing right in the box, but my pen width is a little thicker. This is 1. This is 1/2. This I'm going to count as 1. It's almost a full. This one I'm counting as 1/2. This one, it's quite a bit less than 1/2. I'm not counting it. This one's pretty close to 1/2. I'm going to count that as 1/2. This one again is less than 1/2. I'm not counting it. This one is pretty much 1/2. This one's almost a whole one, and this one's a whole one, and this one's a whole one. So then when you count them all, I always count my halves first. It makes it easier. 1, 2, 3.5. Oh, I think there's a half here too. Sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 total halves. Then count my wholes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So I have 18 full ones for a total of 22. And since we're talking square area, we're talking units squared. Okay, this shape should look familiar because it's the same one we just did, only we did the perimeter before. Now we're going to find the area. Again, I'm going to write in the ones I know. This is 1, 1, 1. Oh, my pen wrote in a weird place there, but that's also a 1. 1, 1. This is more than a half. I'm calling that 1. I'm calling this one 1 also. This one 1. And I'm counting both of these as 1/2. These have just a tiny little bit. I'm not going to count them at all. They're too small. These I would say are quite a bit more than half. That's why I call those as 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then these two together would make it 9. And one thing I forgot to do, which I should, is units squared. Okay, these are on the back of your worksheet. So as we go through here, decide if it's half, just a little bit, or not at all. The square won't count at all. This one I probably count as half. See if I can make my pen size a little bit more narrow so that maybe I can write a little neater, because it is pretty thick. It might be at the thinnest I can go. There I am. So, got to stick with it. This is 1, 1. Oh, that seems smaller. 1. I'm going to count that as 1. Count this one as half. I'm not going to count this one at all because it's little. This one's more than half. I'm going to count it as 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. And this one is more than half, so I'm counting it as 1. Same with this one. All of these are 1. And again, this one's more than half, so I'm counting as 1. This one, I might say that is pretty close to half. I'm going to count that as a half. I'm going to count this as a whole. 1, 1, 1, and 1/2. Then add up all your numbers. My halves, I have half, 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 so that's 2. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Count this as 26 units squared. Now, usually we will have some fluctuation. Some people might decide that this is less than half and not count it. So you might get a little bit of variation. We usually have a range of answers that are correct. Okay, let's look at our next one. This one I think has quite a few that you can get kind of iffy on. Like, do I count it? Do I not? I probably won't count this one. It's less than a half. This one I'd probably count as half. This one, that's pretty close to half too. I probably would count that as half. Wouldn't count this one, wouldn't count this one. Wouldn't count this one, wouldn't count this one. I would count these two as 1. I probably wouldn't count this one. I'd count this one as half. And 1, 1. 1, 1, and a half. Probably wouldn't count that one. 1, 1. Wouldn't count this one, it's less than half. We count each of these as 1. This is quite a bit more than half. I'd count that as 1. This one, that's pretty touch and go. Is it half? Is it more than half? I'm going to go with half for now, because as you can see, this is multiple choice, and one of the answers will probably be closer than the other ones. Count this as 1. Count this as a 1. I'm not going to count this one at all. I count this one as 1. Should I count this as half? It's pretty close to half. See, there's some judgment in here, whether it's half or not. I won't count this one though, because I counted that last one. And I count that, and count that one. So we do usually have a little bit allowance for variation. This I'd count as half. I count this one, this one, this one. I'd count this one as a whole. I wouldn't count this one. I'd count this one as a whole, and then again another 1/2. If I count up my halves, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we count up my whole numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. If I add those up, I get 32. If I look, 32 wasn't a choice. But that might get to this one where it's like, should I count it? Should I not? That was about a half. There's only one answer that's close to it, and that's 31 and a half. So you'll see there will sometimes be some variation. 32, 31 and a half. They're estimates. They won't necessarily be exact. So that's it. Have an awesome day, and I'll talk to you soon.